What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into our first news. Recent training footage surfaced showing JDM working with Alexander Volkanovski and Craig Jones as he prepares for his upcoming fight against Islam Makhachev. The clip shows JDM moving lightly, focusing on timing, angles, and smart defensive reactions rather than going full speed. Volkanovski, who faced Islam twice before, understands what it feels like to deal with Islam's pressure, strength, and grappling control. Their first fight was extremely close, with many fans believing Volkanovski did enough to win. So, it's no surprise that JDM might be taking pointers from someone who has actually experienced that level of championship intensity in the cage. Craig Jones, one of the most respected grappling minds in modern MMA, can be seen offering advice and refining positional details, especially when it comes to defending takedowns and escaping dominant holds. The training atmosphere looked focused, sharp, and full of intent. No ego, no chaos, just a team working to solve a very difficult puzzle. JDM appears calm and dialed in, absorbing everything and showing respect to both Volkanovski and Jones. With the help of high-level coaching and first-hand experience guidance, he's making sure he is as prepared as possible for the test ahead. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Daniel Cormier and Bisping have both responded to Jon Jones and his recent comments regarding Tom Aspinall. Jon appeared on the No Scripts podcast this week, where he labeled Tom a quitter after the no contest with Cyril Gane due to the accidental eye poke. Jon even went as far as calling Tom a one-trick pony. Daniel Cormier believes Jon may have gone a little too far with that assessment. On his YouTube channel, Daniel Cormier explained that when Jon Jones hears people calling him a duck or suggesting that Tom Aspinall is the guy to beat him, Jon almost subconsciously looks for reasons to dismiss Tom. Cormier said they talked about this before the fight. If Cyril Gane had won in a more clear way, Jon would still have turned it into a narrative of, "That's the guy you thought could beat me?" Cormier pointed out that the fight lasted only 4 minutes. Cyril Gane had some success early, maybe more than people expected, but that doesn't mean the full 25-minute fight would have played out the same way. Maybe Cyril would have continued building momentum, or maybe Tom would have settled in and completely flipped the momentum. The truth is, nobody knows. It simply wasn't long enough to form a strong, definitive opinion on Tom Aspinall's abilities based on that small sample. Cormier emphasized that the reason reactions were so strong is because fans have never seen Tom struggle before. When someone who usually dominates gets touched or looks slightly uncomfortable, it shocks the audience. Cormier explained that Jon, as a fighter, is watching Tom through the lens of a potential opponent. Fighters naturally look for weaknesses. They don't give unnecessary credit. Before Daniel Cormier started commentary work back in 2012, he said he couldn't help but look at other fighters in the same way Jon is looking at Tom right now. Commentating forced him to become more neutral, more fair, more balanced. Jon doesn't have that separation. He's watching Tom thinking, "I might fight him one day," which makes him highlight the flaws and ignore the strengths. So Jon sees one good thing, then points out every flaw, saying the wrestling isn't good, the grappling isn't good, the striking is basic, and so on. Cormier believes that perspective is natural for Jon, but it doesn't make it accurate. Bisping also defended Tom Aspinall. He said Jon's comments about Tom's fight with Curtis Blades were unfair. Jon claimed Tom just dropped and quit when his knee got injured, but Bisping made it clear that when a ligament tears or something in the knee goes, the body reacts instantly. It's not about toughness or desire. It's physical injury. That doesn't make someone a quitter. Bisping said Tom was in legitimate severe pain, and implying that he should have continued is unrealistic and disrespectful. Cormier also mentioned how he once saw Khabib lose a round to Justin Gaethje, only to come back and dominate and finish the fight. A lot can change between minute 4 and minute 25. 4 minutes of a fight simply isn't enough to declare who or what a fighter truly is. Moving on to another news, we had a really wholesome moment involving Sean Strickland at the UFC PI. Now usually when people hear the name Sean Strickland, they expect chaos, wild rants, or some intense back and forth with other fighters. But this time it was something completely different. A fan approached him, clearly excited and maybe even a little bit nervous. Sean walked over with a relaxed vibe, genuinely curious, and asked, "What's your name?" The fan replied softly, "Alex," and Sean instantly lit up. Without hesitation, he gave the guy a warm handshake and a friendly pat, saying, "Alex, dude, my man, you just made my day. I love you, bro." There was no persona, no tough guy act, just real human energy. Sean looked like someone who understood how much that moment meant to the fan and gave back that same value. The fan smiled big, clearly overwhelmed, and the room felt lighter. It reminded people that behind the intense training, the cage walkouts, and all the headlines, fighters are still people with real emotions. Sean's interaction showed a side of him that doesn't always make the highlight reels, but it absolutely left an impression. Moving on to another news, JDM recently revealed his personal MMA Mount Rushmore, sharing the fighters who have left the biggest impact on him. He started by naming Jon Jones, a fighter he greatly respects for his dominance and skill in the Octagon. Then he added BJ Penn, noting that while he admires BJ, he probably places him just outside of his top 3 favorites. GSP was also included, reflecting JDM's appreciation for his technical mastery and consistency throughout his career. Anderson Silva made the list as well, with JDM pointing out Silva's legendary status and the way he revolutionized striking in MMA, mentioning that Silva might even rank above BJ Penn in his eyes. JDM described his choices as a mix of personal admiration and recognition of each fighter's influence on the sport. He also considered adding one more fighter and pondered over other legends, ultimately mentioning Fedor Emelianenko for his dominance during the Pride days. JDM highlighted Fedor's era, emphasizing how he remained nearly untouchable and how his career left a lasting mark on MMA history. The Pride era, according to JDM, showcased some of the most dominant performances in the sport, making Fedor a fitting candidate for any Mount Rushmore list. JDM's selection reflects both modern and old-school MMA legends, combining technical brilliance, groundbreaking performances, and overall dominance in their respective eras. It's clear that his Mount Rushmore isn't just about wins and losses, but also about the fighters' legacies, influence on the sport, and the moments that made them unforgettable. From Jon Jones' complete skill set to Anderson Silva's artistry, GSP's consistency, BJ Penn's raw talent, and Fedor's Pride-era dominance, JDM's choices celebrate fighters who have shaped MMA into what it is today. His list is a thoughtful blend of admiration and respect, giving fans a glimpse into the fighters who have inspired one of the sport's rising stars. Moving on to another news, Valter Walker spoke on what actually happened at UFC 321, where he defeated Louis Sutherland by heel hook just 84 seconds into the first round. This win marked his fourth straight victory by heel hook, but the story behind it was far more dramatic than anyone watching realized. During the fight, Walker says he cracked his fibula after blocking one of Sutherland's kicks. He explained that the moment the kick landed, he felt something was wrong immediately. He said he felt his leg break, and when he tried to place his foot back on the ground, his foot simply wasn't responding. He could feel the pain shooting through the leg, and he understood instantly that if Sutherland landed another heavy kick in that same spot, the fight was going to be over. Walker explained that in that moment, he made the decision that he needed to get the fight to the ground fast. He understood that showing pain in a fight is one of the worst signals you can give your opponent. If a fighter sees you react to pain, they will target it even harder. So Walker hit it. He didn't make a face, didn't limp, didn't pull away. Instead, he moved forward and shot for the takedown, even though his leg wasn't doing exactly what he wanted. He admitted that the takedown looked a little awkward because his leg just wasn't listening to him. But once the fight hit the mat, he locked in the heel hook and forced Sutherland to tap, ending the fight before the injury could be exploited even further. After the fight, nobody believed him when he said his leg was broken. Not his coach, not his wife, not even his training partners. He was still walking, although with pain, but he was moving around. He even moved apartments the next day, carrying bags and boxes, which made his wife even more confused. She kept asking how he could move around like that if his leg was actually broken. Walker explained that he was trying to ignore the pain, thinking it would fade in a few days. But when he woke up the next morning, the pain was even worse. He decided to go to the doctor to confirm what he was feeling. When the doctor showed him the x-ray, he said he couldn't believe it at first. The fibula was cracked. The bone was damaged, but it wasn't a complete break. Because of that, he did not require surgery. The doctor told him he needed a cast, and the key now is to avoid putting any weight on the leg. If he steps on it too much, or if the bone shifts, then surgery will be required. For now, he is using crutches and letting the bone heal naturally. Walker said he originally hoped to fight again in December or November, keeping his momentum strong. But with this injury, he will likely be ready around February or March instead. His focus now is recovery, patience, and coming back stronger once the leg fully heals. Moving on to another news, Michael Venom Page, also known as MVP, shared his thoughts on the upcoming matchup between Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates at UFC 322. MVP made it clear that he has his eye on both fighters, not only as a fan of the sport, but also as someone who could potentially be facing the winner in the near future. He explained that this is the kind of fight that draws real attention, especially given the styles of both men and what each of them brings to the Octagon. MVP said that Carlos Prates is an exciting fighter, someone who has come into the UFC with a strong burst of momentum and an unpredictable striking style that makes him dangerous at all times. He acknowledged that Prates has real power, creativity, and the ability to land something out of nowhere, whether it's a spinning elbow, a wild kick, or a sharp counter in a close exchange. According to MVP, Prates is absolutely a fighter he would be happy to face, not only because of the challenge, but because Prates brings action. However, MVP also pointed out that Leon Edwards is someone he has publicly stated interest in fighting before. He talked about how big of a moment it would be to face Leon in the UK, with the atmosphere, the narrative, and the stakes making the event something massive. He respects Leon and sees that fight as something that would hold real weight in the division. But when it comes to the matchup between Leon and Prates, MVP believes people may be underestimating Leon due to recent performances that didn't show his full capability. He said Leon has faced certain styles that made him look like he might be slowing down, but that doesn't mean he's not still still extremely dangerous. MVP emphasized that this fight is likely to take place largely on the feet because he doesn't see Prates looking to create grappling exchanges. But unlike Prates, Leon has the option to control where the fight goes. MVP explained that Leon has the better ground game, and if he chooses to mix things up, he can take Prates down, slow the pace, and control the fight from the top. This, in MVP's view, could be the key factor in how Leon wins. Even with Prates having the potential to land something explosive, MVP believes Leon is too tough, too experienced, and too composed to be finished easily. So if he has to lean one way, he's leaning toward Leon Edwards to come out with the victory. Moving on to another news, Rampage Jackson was recently caught on a live stream getting into a heated confrontation with a street scammer. The situation unfolded when Rampage was out with a woman, just enjoying the night, and a guy approached them trying to hand out a rose. Now, a lot of people have seen this kind of hustle before. Someone walks up, pretends it's just a friendly gesture, and then tries to force you to pay for it after you've taken it. Rampage immediately recognized what was going on, and he wasn't having any of it. As the guy tried to offer the rose, Rampage told him straight up to take it back and keep moving. The scammer didn't back off at first, and that's when Rampage's tone shifted. He repeated himself, telling the man, "Take it back! Keep it moving!" The guy still hesitated, trying to talk, and Rampage stepped closer, making it absolutely clear that he was done with the nonsense. He told the man not to talk to him like that, not to push the situation, and he didn't mince words. Rampage made it very clear he wasn't in the mood for games and that the man needed to leave before things got worse. The tension spiked for a moment, and you could feel that Rampage was right on the edge of losing patience completely. The scammer finally realized the situation was not going in his favor and backed away. Rampage kept his composure just enough to avoid letting it escalate any further, but his frustration was obvious. After the guy walked off, Rampage said he couldn't stand people acting like that, trying to take advantage of others and trying to cause scenes in public just to scam someone out of money. The reaction from viewers online was mixed, but many people understood exactly why Rampage responded the way he did. He wasn't looking for trouble. He wasn't trying to be aggressive for no reason. He was simply protecting the person he was with and shutting down a situation that could have gotten annoying or even disrespectful very quickly. A lot of people have been in similar situations where street hustlers won't take no for an answer, and they saw Rampage's response as standing up and setting a clear boundary. It was one of those moments where his voice, his presence, and his no-nonsense energy made the message crystal clear. Don't try to play games, don't try to run a scam, and definitely don't try it with him. Moving on to another news, Luke Rockhold, despite the bad blood between him and Sean Strickland, actually agrees with Strickland's assessment and believes he would present the toughest test for Khamzat Chimaev in the middleweight division. Rockhold noted that while Strickland isn't exceptional on the ground, he is extremely difficult to hold down, which could give Khamzat significant problems. He reflected on the potential matchups in the division, mentioning that Strickland might not be the favorite to win against Khamzat, but in terms of challenge and difficulty, he could be the toughest obstacle Khamzat would face. Rockhold recalled his own experiences rolling with Strickland a couple of times. He emphasized that although Strickland's ground game isn't elite, his ability to get back to his feet repeatedly makes him uniquely difficult to manage in a fight. This constant threat of getting up and resetting the fight could be particularly problematic for Khamzat, who needs to establish control to feel comfortable on the feet. Rockhold highlighted that if Strickland keeps getting up over and over without tiring, it could frustrate any opponent, especially someone like Khamzat, who thrives on controlling the pace and position. The discussion also touched on the mental aspect of a potential matchup. Strickland and Khamzat have trained together before at Extreme Couture, and Rockhold suggested that familiarity could play a psychological role in both fighters' minds. Strickland's confident demeanor and loud presence in interviews and training reflect a belief in his own abilities, which Rockhold believes is authentic and not just for show. He pointed out that Strickland doesn't seem intimidated by anyone, and his personality is naturally bold, which can be an advantage in high-pressure situations inside the Octagon. Rockhold analyzed the dynamics of how this matchup could unfold, noting that Strickland's ability to repeatedly rise from difficult positions, combined with Khamzat's need to assert dominance on the feet, creates a scenario where endurance, patience, and strategy become critical. He stressed that even though Strickland isn't technically superior in all aspects, his resilience, confidence, and unorthodox style make him a uniquely tough opponent. Rockhold's insights paint a picture of a potential middleweight clash where mental toughness and adaptability could play just as much of a role as physical skills. The conversation reinforced that Strickland's strength lies in his persistence, his capacity to frustrate opponents, and his fearless approach to competition, making him a serious test for any fighter in the division. Moving on to another news, Tom Aspinall is facing some backlash online after Dana White gave an update regarding the eye injury that ended his fight with Cyril Gane. The rematch between Aspinall and Gane was supposed to be a major moment for the heavyweight division, with both men locked in and the fight just starting to heat up before everything came to an abrupt stop. When the eye poke happened, it was clear that Tom was in immediate pain, and the fight was waved off, leading to one of the most disappointing finishes to a heavyweight title fight in recent memory. Dana White spoke to the media and clarified the situation, saying that Tom did not suffer a detached retina, and there was no structural damage to the eye. According to Dana, the eye is expected to heal, and once Tom is cleared, the rematch will be booked again. However, that update ended up igniting even more debate among fans. Some people began insisting that because there was no permanent damage, Tom should have continued, acting as if the pain itself wasn't enough reason to stop. These comments spread through social media fast, with some going as far as calling Tom a quitter, but not everyone agrees with that take. Alistair Overeem came forward, speaking from both experience and respect for what fighters go through inside the cage. He pointed out how deep the eye poke appeared to be, and explained how unbelievably painful that type of injury can be. He made it clear that the pain alone can be blinding, disorienting, and dangerous. Overeem explained that even if the damage isn't long-term, the moment of intense shock can instantly change a fighter's ability to defend themselves, see their opponent, and continue fighting at any level. According to him, there was nothing weak about Tom's reaction. Overeem also noted that, yes, there have been fighters in the past who continued after getting poked badly. For example, Daniel Cormier continued through an eye poke in his fight against Stipe Miocic, and Jiri Prochazka has said he would fight through nearly anything. But Overeem pointed out a crucial truth. Every situation is different. Every poke, every angle, every point of impact brings a different level of trauma. Just because one fighter pushes through doesn't mean another should be expected to do the same, especially when their vision is compromised in real time. Dana White expressed disappointment in the fight ending the way it did, but he made it clear that the rematch will happen once Tom heals. Right now, Aspinall is at home recovering. The heavyweight title picture remains on pause, and when Tom is ready, the rematch with Gane will be scheduled so they can settle it under the right circumstances, without controversy, and without the fight being defined by an accident instead of skill. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.